Hey everybody, it's Larry. Welcome back. If it's your first time here, grab a seat, get comfortable. You're gonna learn something today. As a veteran, as a father, and as a banker, I'm here to give back to people and explain things. Working in banks, I figured out a long time ago that people don't understand money as much as they should. And mostly because people use jargon and big words try to confuse you. We're not gonna do that here. Plain simple English, just me to you, have a nice conversation about things. Today we're gonna talk about what is a stock. I'm sure that if you've ever spoken to someone about money, the word stock or stocks in general have come up in conversation. If you have financial goals and you've spoken to somebody about them, they're going to bring up stocks somewhere. It's going to come up. But no one ever says, what the heck is a stock? So that's what we're going to talk about today. What is a stock? Why you should have them? Why everybody recommends that you buy some good ones? And if you stay tuned to the end, I'm going to show you how you can have your own stock and become a millionaire doing it. It's really easy. Rich people do it all the time. A common goal that everyone has is they want to be rich. Duh. Everybody wants to be rich. I don't think I know anybody who wants to be poor. Most people aren't giving money away unless you just have a whole lot of it. Think of like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett. But if you want to be rich, you're going to need stocks. Why do you need stocks? Because stocks are a great way to develop wealth. But before you run out and go buy some, you need to know what a stock is. So just like we always do, when you sit down to dinner, I want you to ask your family, ask your friends, whether it's the missus, if it's the wife, if it's the husband, if it's the kids, if it's grandma, grandpa, whoever's over. Considering what's going on in the world, it's probably just people you live with. But whoever that is, ask them, hey, around the table, what's the stock? It doesn't matter if there's children there, it doesn't matter if there's old people there, just ask the table, what is the stock? They're gonna look at you like, this again? Yeah, we're gonna do this every week until a lot of these really crazy, cryptic financial terms become real plain simple English so we can all have a conversation about it. Money is one of those things that people are, what I found, are just uncomfortable talking about. And I want to get rid of that. We should not be scared to talk about money. A lot of times because people just don't know. Or if they have it, they're worried about losing it. We need to understand money. So you're going to ask them, what is a stock? In the comments below, tell me some of the things that they give back to you as far as answers. I'm sure they're going to be all over the place. But so what the hell is it? So when you go to one of my favorite sites that I like to use, Investopedia, a stock, also known as equity, is a security that represents the ownership of a fraction of a corporation. This entitles the owner of the stock to a proportion of the corporation's assets and profits equal to how much stock they own. Units of stocks are called shares. What? What happened to plain English? Larry? I'm gonna get there. You know what a stock is? It's a piece of a company. That's it. That's as plain and simple as someone could put it. And I know that that's plain and simple and easy because that's what I tell my kids. And they can grasp that. You can tell that to children who are 5 years old, 13, 19, 24. 24 not a child anymore. But anyone get that. A stock is a piece of a company. That's it. Plain and simple. All right, Larry, fantastic. I know what a stock is. Why the hell do I want one? Why does everybody say I should have one? Why does everybody go bananas about them? Hold on, slow down, Kimosabe. I'm gonna explain that to you. The reason why you need a stock is because you have a small piece of a great company. Now, if you look at someone like Apple or if you look at someone like Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola makes great products. I'm sure if you go in your fridge right now in your kitchen, you have a Coca-Cola product. Yes, Pepsi people, you probably have a Coca-Cola product too. So they're great at making soda, all sorts of drinks. And you want a piece of that pie. Because imagine if you could ride in a car and be driven around and get where you got to go. That's what having a stock is like. You get to own a piece of a company, but you don't have to come up with great ideas. You don't have to deal with marketing. You don't have to hire and fire people. None of that stuff. You just get to sit back and collect the profits and earnings that that company makes. Outstanding. Now, how much of those earnings you get depends upon how big a piece of that pie that you have. So if you look at a company like Coca-Cola, fantastic company. So last year in 2019, Coca-Cola made $37.3 billion. That's billion with a big old capital B, $billion in 2019. I don't think that you have a company that made $37 billion last year. I don't think that you're close to starting a $37 billion company, but you can own a piece of a $37 billion company. That sounds awesome, right? You can tell somebody, yeah, and you can even tell your friends, I own parts of a multi-billion-dollar international entity, because you do. You own a piece of Coca-Cola. Now, what they don't realize is that you own a very, very small piece of Coca-Cola. So they made 37.3 billion, and you can have a piece of that. Now, how big of a piece of that? So now that you own a piece of Coca-Cola, that 37.3 billion, slow down. You're not on your way to becoming a titan of industry. So you have one piece. And what's more important is how many pieces of that pie are there? Coca-Cola last year had 4.314 billion. That's billion with the B again, pieces of that pie that everybody could have. So if you got one piece, outstanding. You have one of 4.314 billion. So that $37.3 billion they made last year is getting spread mighty thin across all those shares. But nonetheless, you still own part of the company. You still get a piece of that pie. So as this already established, strong company grows, your tiny little piece of it grows with it. If you own Coca-Cola and the company doubles in value in 10 years, your piece has doubled in value in 10 years, and you didn't have to do anything for it. Nothing. All you had to do was sit back and be a shareholder. It's like riding in a limousine and getting where you gotta go. You don't have to drive. You're not putting gas in the car. You're just arriving at the destination, which in this case, should be financial freedom, and you don't have to do anything. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. You told me at the beginning I could be a millionaire with my own company. Now, if you're like me, I ain't never shared nothing that large. I've never cut anything into a billion pieces. Nothing I own can be cut into a billion pieces. It can't. So I want my own company. I want something where I get to have control of it. Outstanding. You can go to any one of 100 different websites and start your own company and have 1,000 shares. And you can say every share costs $1 million, and you now own $1 billion company. On paper, you now own $1 billion company because each share you've decided is worth $1 million. 1,000 times $1 million equals $1 billion. No one's gonna buy your shares for $1 million if you can't prove to them why they're worth $1 million. But this is what people with private companies do. They usually will have something on the back end to justify saying that each share is worth $1 million. Think about Shark Tank. When the people come in, I'm gonna give you 10% of my company for $10 million. And they'll do the math and say, well, you're saying your company's worth $100 million. Why? And that's when the back and forth begins. But you can go right now and get your own company and have 1,000 shares and say each share is $1 million, and you technically own on paper $1 billion company. No one else thinks it's worth $1 billion, but you think it's worth $1 billion. So you have $1 billion company. To you anyway. I like a little levity, a little comedy online, but that's something you actually can do. So now you know what a stock is, a piece of a company. Now you know why you should have one. Because instead of starting your own and going through that first initial phase and failure, you can buy a piece of already established company. How does it make you wealthy? As the company grows, your piece of it grows. You buy more pieces, you get more of the growth. Jeff Bezos only owns about 16% of Amazon. The rest of it, everybody else wanted a piece of that pie. So now you know what a stock is, and now you know why you should have one. Every week, we're going to talk about things like this. We are. And every week, I'm going to take a topic from finance and break it down in plain, simple English that anyone in the family can understand. You don't need a 4-year degree. You don't even have to have finished high school. I'm going to break this stuff down to plain, simple English. So if you have something that you want me to review, let me know down there in the comments. I want to hear what your family and friends said at dinner when you asked them what a stock was. But that's me. I'll talk to y'all later.